Stepping onto the big stage as a teenager, I think it was like, it's a little bit overwhelming at the start because that jump from juniors to seniors is quite big. Like, you're going from playing like, people maybe a year older than you to, people that are 10 years older than you. So it's a huge jump, but I think for me, the biggest piece of advice I received when I was going through that whole process was just to be confident and just know that you've been picked for a reason to be in that team, in that position. So I think once I started to believe that and I saw myself on the court and I had great teammates around me that were super supportive and were like, you're here for a reason, you can do this, we know what you can do. I think when I was surrounded by such great people and receiving just so much constructive feedback all the time, I think that's when I really was like, I can do this, I believe in this. So I think the challenges were, a bit of self-doubt, a bit of like, oh, I don't know if I'm meant to be here and stuff, but when you receive such great feedback from supportive teammates, coaches, and you start to trust yourself and know that you belong there, I think that's when I became comfortable and started to thrive in that area. I'm always looking to improve. I love, perfecting a new skill or adding something different to my game, and we don't get a lot of time to practice these skills because we're always in season to season, but I think just being able to find something to work on during the season. So it might be a mid-range game, it might be a certain dribble move, it might be some sort of technique to get past the screen, but there's always ways to improve, and I think approaching the game with an open mindset is super important, and that's something that I've always enjoyed and I find is a fun aspect of basketball. So I guess my advice would just be to find the fun in basketball, whether it's perfecting a craft, it might be building a new relationship with a teammate, whatever it is. I think approach everything with a growth mindset, be super open-minded to new things. For me, I'm always just trying to be the best version of myself. I think if I start comparing myself to other people, I'm not going to, be successful. But if I'm just every day trying to be the best version of Jade Melbourne and the best Jade Melbourne there ever was, that's what I thrive to do, and that's something that keeps me motivated.
Points all of a sudden. Jade Melbourne responds. 10. Wide open is Melbourne. To Melbourne. Takes the three herself for Jade Melbourne.
Leadership's a crazy one, and I think it's something that I've been thrown into, not in a bad way, but I've had natural leadership tendencies from a young age. So I think it's something that leadership's such an important thing, and I think everyone's a leader in their own right. I think as women as well, we're always empowering one another and we're all leaders, but it's so much more than just being vocal or leading by example. A coach once told me if I lead by example and be vocal, it's a bit of a cop-out because everyone should be able to do that. So I think for me it was about then forming relationships with my teammates and learning that everyone wants to be communicated to differently, and one strategy for one person won't work for another. So learning that early has been huge, and I think it's only going to set me up and hold me in good stead for the future. So that's some advice I'd give to younger kids is, have conversations with your teammates. If you can get along with them off the court, you're going to get along a lot better with them on the court. Find out how they want to be communicated to, find out what makes them tick, and you'll notice chemistry, between you and them, but also amongst the team will become a lot stronger. I've been with the Canberra Capitals the last 3 years, and we've done a lot more losing than winning and stuff, and I think if anything it's helped me grow not only as a player but a person, and losing's part of the game. I think you have to be a good loser to be a good winner, and I think the wins feel so much more sweeter when you've gone through losing. A quote that I love to use is you either win or you learn, and I think that's been huge for my career. I think if you realise that winning's great, but a lot of habits fall under the radar when you're winning and everything's successful and stuff, and things can slip through the cracks. But I think for me, I haven't been able to take any shortcuts the last 3 years because I've always been trying to pursue a win or trying to get better. So I think it's been huge picking up all these little habits, like making sure you do all the recovery, you're working on your game, you might be getting free throws in 10 minutes before practice, you might be staying to shoot threes half an hour later. But all these little habits I think of are what a part of being a professional is, but also part of what's helped me get to where I am today. Recently I've had the opportunity to play in a lot of high pressure situations. I haven't played in WNBL finals yet, but I've played at the Olympics, I've played in big WNBA games and WNBL games that have been really important on the way to finals.
Jade Melbourne, the Aussie.
One thing I've learnt throughout the whole thing is it's just another game. And as much as the stakes are high, some games have more meaning and significance than other. I think the most important thing is just staying true to who you are and just remembering all the stuff you've done to get to that position. I'm not in the position I am today, and I don't have the ability to go out on a basketball court and be confident if I haven't done the work. But knowing that I have, and everyone has, you don't get to a state team or you don't get to your rep team if you haven't put in some sort of work. So I think just being confident in the work you've done has been super important, and like I go into games very confident if I've like ticked off, you know, gone hard at team practice, got those extra shots up after practice, made 10 free throws in a row to finish. Just little things like that mentally have me prepared for games. So I think another piece of advice I received was when I was going through a lot of transitions was between like 18 and 21, where I'm playing on a WNBA team where some games I'm playing, some games I'm not even playing. So just making sure, like I was going through this really big transition phase, and one coach said to me, like, don't let anyone take away your confidence. And that was something that really stuck with me, because it's very easy to find, you know, a teammate to blame, a coach to blame, a position you're in. But if you can just be confident in yourself and all the work you've done prior to that, you're free to go out there and just be you, and just trust your gut, play to your instincts, be confident in what your strengths, and you go out there and you'll be fine. It was like my first 4 games, I think I got in for a minute 30, I didn't play, and then play like 15 minutes. And you're questioning yourself, you're like, oh, am I meant to be here? Am I in this position? I'm in the wrong team, maybe I'm not ready for this yet. And all these thoughts are going through your head. At the end of the day, I've done the work, I got picked at training camp to be on that Seattle roster. No one can take that away from me, and I was confident. You know, the games I wasn't playing, I was running up and down the court doing conditioning at the end of the games, and then the next day I was going in and getting workouts in and playing 5-on-5 against the practice team. So I was doing all the right things, I was getting better. So when I was like, you know what, I just got to be confident, I got to back myself and believe in myself, I think that was the biggest thing. And you know, don't get me wrong, there's hurdles and there's times where it wavers and your confidence does waver, but I just think getting back to like knowing why you're there through the hard work, you've got great people around you, and just backing yourself 100%. You know who you are, you know what your strengths are, just go out there, back yourself and just be you when you get on the court.